Hello everyone, I am Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. And before we get into this video, first I just wanted to show you, as I announced in the last video, we decided on the name Downcast, the title, for the comic book that I'm going to be working on. And I got a little creative today and decided to throw together a title, logo, I guess. So this is a very simple one. I like the simple ones because the focus can be more on the artwork. But let me know what you think. Is this in the right direction? Let me know. I mean, should I just hire somebody else to do it? I'd be interested in hearing your opinions. And with that said, let's jump into the video. So I feel like this is sort of the elephant in the room. This has been a video that I've been thinking about making since Monday night and have been putting it off, and today I feel like I need to address it. And that is that Mindy Wheeler and Ethan Van Sciver have sort of developed a rift between them. And honestly, I tried to look into it and find exactly where things started off. I'm not any more sure now than I was before. Now, full disclosure, I was on Ethan's live stream on Monday night. It was a really good experience. I had a lot of fun, and I thought it was really kind of Ethan to invite me on the show. Having said that, I never expected to be on his show, and my success as both a YouTube creator and a comic book creator did not hinge upon Ethan inviting me onto his show. That was my mentality going into this. However, I'm of course very grateful, and it was something I would certainly do again. So right after that live stream, I was on YouTube and I noticed that Mindy Wheeler also jumped on a live stream, and I just wanted to show you just the beginning part here.
Hi. 3 people. Hi, everybody. I totally don't even want to do this.
Okay, and really that's all I was going to show you. So she actually went through her direct messages with Ethan Van Sciver, and I watched it, and I'm sure, like, I don't know what I missed. I don't get it. I'm not sure where the offense is. But it sounded like Mindy had an idea for an app that would help Comicsgate somehow with distribution services. So that sounds like an interesting idea. I don't know how it would work. So to me, I would be interested. I mean, Mindy, you're welcome to come on my show, and I'd love to hear your idea. So the best that I can gather is that Mindy felt like she was sort of being cast aside or sort of pushed out of the way, and she wasn't getting as much exposure on any of Ethan's live streams or I guess otherwise in Comicsgate. Now, I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, but that was sort of my take on things. And on Twitter, I don't have the patience to read through all of the mess that has been going on, but things have devolved quickly. If you're really interested in looking into it, go ahead and hop on Twitter and see what you can find. Personally, I'm not real interested in going through that right now. So somehow Nasir got brought into this, and Nasir made a video about it, and I just want to show you the beginning of his.
Hey guys, so again, I this is not the video I had planned for today, just like yesterday's Mark Lombardi video, but
Okay, so I found it interesting that both Mindy and Nasir essentially said the same thing at the beginning of their video. They weren't planning on, or didn't really want to make that video. That wasn't in the plan. When I see this stuff come up and the drama that happens within Comicsgate or adjacent to Comicsgate or whatever you want to call it, it makes me feel bad because I feel like there's so much positivity and that doesn't get as much attention. Now, I'm not sure, and I'm not going to pretend to know what Mindy was thinking and what her thought process was. From my perspective, it looks like she's burning bridges unnecessarily. I can't figure out why she would burn the bridges. And if we look back at her subscriber count, she's actually lost quite a few subscribers. I know I was keeping an eye on most other YouTube channels that are Comicsgate related just to compare, I guess, where my subscriber count was. And Mindy was really close to, or like pretty close to 900 subscribers. Now she's down to 783, and this was only since she announced that she was leaving Comicsgate, and there was sort of these very public statements on Twitter about Comicsgate and very kind of unjustified criticisms. So I don't think this has been good for Mindy's YouTube channel at the least. It's certainly, I don't know, because she doesn't have her book up yet to be crowdfunded, but I can't imagine that being helpful to getting her book published either. So I have heard some people on Twitter accuse Mindy that she was doing this for attention, and I'm not going to pretend to know what her thought process was. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, and I think she said she just wanted to do the right thing. So from her perspective, like I said, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I would like to point out, though, that this kind of outrage milking or outrage capitalism, so to speak, it's definitely a thing, especially in online environments. And this is an article on 3 ways that you can get loyal customers for your online following. It kind of makes me sick, actually, when I read this. It says, take a look through your Twitter or Facebook feeds to see plenty of posts of people being upset about something. You can use this affinity for outrage in your favor. Bonus points if you channel that outrage into positive action. Marie Forleo is a popular business coach. She tapped into her audience's feelings to mobilize them to take action to reunite families that had been separated at the border. By channeling her following's outrage on the issue, they raised nearly $2.6 million for the cause. Think about how you can use outrage to move your audience to action to fight a common enemy as it relates to your business. Rallying your community around tackling social issues works well too. Okay, when I read that, I can't help but cringe. It's kind of gross. There's definitely truth to it, though. When you have a common enemy, you do pull together and you do unite. Now, in Comicsgate, I would say if I say the name Mark Waid, most of you are going to have negative feelings. And in fact, so many of you have negative feelings that your boy Zach has raised over $100,000 to sue Mark Waid. So what's the difference in Zach's case and in some of these other cases? Well, the difference is the outrage isn't manufactured. Mark Waid did something that was deplorable, and so we're fighting back. It's sort of a natural thing to want to come to the aid of one of your friends that is in trouble from some outside force. Now, where I think this is going badly for Mindy is that I don't see a lot of people rallying around her. Her subscriber count certainly doesn't support that people are rallying around her. And it's such, really in the big picture of things, it's such an inconsequential sort of Twitter beef that I really don't think it's hurting Ethan at all. So while on Mindy's live stream, she said that she didn't have anything to lose, I really think that she did. I worry this is going to be pretty bad for her career, at least in the short term. And speaking of her live stream, as I was watching it, she actually revealed a bunch of the DMs between her and Ethan Van Sciver. Like I said, I tried to watch closely and understand where the rift was. But if you look here in the chat, Ethan was actually watching and he was responding to some of these things. I was there too. I said it sounds like a misunderstanding. And honestly, as I listened to those, that's my honest opinion. I didn't see anything that warranted this kind of response. I will admit, though, that there may be some subtext that, is just personal between Mindy and Ethan. But if there was, I honestly don't know. I'm not aware of it. So you're probably asking, well, Clint, what is your point about all of this? Well, I'll tell you, I have some direct messages of my own to share. Yesterday on Twitter, 3D Robin reached out to me, and we had a very long and a very nice conversation on Twitter about all sorts of things. He offered some advice on some of my graphic design stuff, and I offered to help in any way I can with the Cyberfrog video game that he put together. If you haven't seen that yet, it's really cool. The reason I bring it up is because every time there's some kind of Twitter beef within Comicsgate, to me, I've seen it everywhere in any kind of online so-called community or any kind of group of people that share an interest. There always seems to be these moments of falling out between individuals, but you don't hear a lot about the collaborations and the positive experiences that happen. I can only speak for myself, but when I've been in Comicsgate, talking to people on Twitter or talking to people in my own comment section, to me it feels like I'm making friends, even when people disagree with me. And every single video I make, I at least have one person disagree with me, and they explain why they disagree with me. And honestly, I welcome that. You're welcome to disagree with me. In fact, with this video, tell me why I'm wrong if you think I'm wrong, and that's okay. But I do think it's important to know that there's a lot of good relationships that we could build, and these things are really productive. This is how we can help bring up new talent and how we can help meet new people that we might otherwise not meet. And so part of the risk is maybe some hurt feelings, maybe somebody disappoints you in the future that you once trusted or whatever it might be. But I think that's a worthy sacrifice for all the good that can come from getting together and talking to people and throwing ideas out and challenging each other. So rather than thinking of Comicsgate as one big happy family, I like to think of it as a whole bunch of individuals that have different opinions, and sometimes we argue, often we disagree. But if you're going to make it in a creative industry, you can't rely on any one person to help you out or just give you an audience or give you a successful crowdfunding campaign. That's up to you. You've got to do the work yourself. And I think if you're doing a good job, it'll get noticed. People will notice you as long as you're putting yourself out there, you're talking to people, and you're doing the best work you can. But what do I know? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I could use your subscription. That'll really help me out. Thank you so much. I will see you next time.